AIDS. Not like Band-Aids, AIDS. What do you think of when I say that word? A sickness, a disease, negative stigma, or negative connotation? Elizabeth Taylor, a well-known humanitarian from the 1980s, said it is bad enough that people are dying from AIDS, but no one should have to die of ignorance. In our society today, it is crucial for the general public to have an understanding of what AIDS is and how it affects us, and how we can keep prevention and protection in the conversation surrounding the topic. To truly understand the conversation of AIDS, it is essential to understand acquired autoimmune deficiency syndrome, AIDS, as a chronic, potentially deadly, life-threatening disease. Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome is a condition caused by HIV. HIV is an immune deficiency virus that attacks the cells in your body and their ability to fight off disease and infection. That means that to have AIDS, you must have HIV, but that does not mean that if you get HIV, you will get AIDS. HIV is transmitted through bodily fluids, but in most individual cases, the HIV virus, if goes untreated, will lead to HIV weakening your immune system so much so that it becomes AIDS, this being the most severe form of AIDS. The first instance that the world saw of AIDS was in the Congo, according to history.com. The first way that scientists believe it arrived was by hunters in Africa who ate infected chimps. Those chimps were carrying a disease that was almost identical to HIV called SIV that had mutated with another HIV strand, causing transmission between humans and chimpanzees. Eventually, HIV and AIDS reached the US in the 1970s, and the public got a glimpse of that in the 1980s. The CDC and New York Times started writing reports on articles for Public Matters during the early 1980s. According to the CDC, as of December 2000, around 700,000 people have been reported with AIDS in the United States, 400,000 of which have died. As we learned, AIDS has had a short period of existence, but a huge effect on today's world. According to the CDC, it was recorded in 2020 that about 37.6 million people across the globe have HIV, and of these, 35.6 million were adults. Of those people, about 84% knew what their status were, and the other 16 were lacking resources to get those testings for the disease. In the US specifically, there are about 1.2 million people who have HIV, and about 13% don't know that they have it. And although these numbers are atrocious, they have been on the decline, with an 8% decline from 2015 to 2016. HIV/AIDS disproportionately affects more groups than others. Statistics show that for age range 25 to 34 affected the most. Black African Americans are affected most in race. Males are affected most for gender, and homosexuals being affected most for sexual orientation. The stigma surrounding AIDS is very damaging to the people who live it. Some people have negative beliefs that only certain groups can contract AIDS, and some believe that some people deserve to get AIDS for their preferences and choices for lifestyle. On the other hand of the stigma comes discrimination. People with AIDS have been refused healthcare services and have been called names like HIVers or positives, and refusing casual contact with other people because they have AIDS. Although the rate of transmission is coming to a slow decline, it is vitally important for people today to take action in prevention when it comes to AIDS. Some very important things to consider when engaging in activities that carry high chances of transmission or even a chance of transmission are precautions. Some steps to take would be having conversations with new sexual partners about their status, and even requesting them to get tested along with yourself before engaging in sexual relations. The CDC says that it is very important to not only use condoms, but use them in the correct way. Along with that, it is crucial to never share needles with anyone and take precautions when thinking about pregnancy as a woman with HIV. Even if you do not have HIV, but you are at the risk, the CDC recommends that you take preventive medicines. HIV testing is the gateway to prevention, treatment, and medical care. Some symptoms along with HIV and AIDS depend on the phase of the infection and the progression that varies on the person. With this being said, it is very important to get tested even if no symptoms are showing. Educate yourself and your community about this disease is what will lead the new generation into a world with less cases and more safer practices. AIDS can be a silent condition in its earliest stage, but will turn deadly if it goes untreated. As we talked about, AIDS attacks the immune system's ability to fight off infection and disease, first as the AIDS virus and then turning into AIDS when untreated. AIDS disproportionately affects certain people groups and can leave a very negative connotation to those people. Subsequently, spread of the AIDS education to the public, getting tested when needed, and taking precautions in high-risk situations is key. Oh my God. My name is Jennifer Herndon, and this is my project for Intro to Communications.